And we're live. Hello, everybody. I'm hoping that we are audible and we are able to be seen and heard. Welcome in to episode 4 of The Growing of the Dim. CAVE. That spells cave. With me, I've got an amazing cast of wonderful folks, and we're gonna tell a kind of a spooky story together, using kids on bikes as the background. So we'll introduce them without further ado. We'll start with Becca.
Hi, I'm Becca. I use she, they pronouns. I'm playing Willie Hickey, who uses he, they pronouns, and who is just a little schemer, a little bully bastard with a previously 10, now 14-year-old sister. As they are. They grow
They
up
grow
so
up so
fast.
fast. They do. And next up, we have Chris or Omnis.
Hi, it's Chris, Omnis, whichever works. Uh, my pronouns are he, him, and the character I will be playing today is Travis Bagel, our scout who, despite some hardships, still manages to see just a little bit of bright side of things. His pronouns are also he, him.
And we've got the lovely Bee.
Hey everyone, I'm B. I use she, they pronouns, and I will be portraying Gemma Davies, who uses she, her pronouns. And I grabbed a lantern off the table back there, so.
Last but certainly not least, we've got Max.
Max, use he, they pronouns, and on this lovely story, I play Heather, the popular kid who uses she, her pronouns.
And I am your GM for this evening. My name is Anita. I use she, they pronouns, but I play characters inside and outside of the gender spectrum. So, without further ado, previously on The Growing of the Dim, our Quincy, Colorado edition, you all sort of made a plan inside of the Ollie's Alley, which is a community rec center that has bowling, arcade, a ball pit, a roller rink. It's kind of a little bit of everything. The group of you discovered that your Willie's sister, Kelly, has some mysterious powers and reappeared, teleporting from home to the roller rink. Apparently, being told that she could live in the ball pit. She just had to go back for strawberry shortcake. Uh, you all sort of made a plan to talk about this cave system and do a little bit more research. On the way out, when two of you were sort of trying to make a little bit more of a plan, you saw a vehicle. A 1985 Mercury Cougar was posted outside with a man in a suit reading a paper, keeping tabs on the front door of the bowling alley. Gemma, like a badass, approached and intimidated this person, and they fled. The group of you realized that you should maybe try and skip school, or at least take the day off school, to figure out a little bit more about what's going on. Travis and Heather, taking a ride with Travis's sister, to sort of try and, I guess, leave, but you came across old man Joe Frazzetti, who runs the Joe's Italian restaurant, seemingly like a little bit out of sorts and walking back to a hotel that the town had put him up at. Walking the wrong direction, you reoriented Joe, and Joe told you a little bit about the Undercity and what it lies there, and a little bit more about his secondary operation to the Italian restaurant, which is he's a fine distiller of gins and other spirited liquors. He's been running this operation since Prohibition, allegedly. And he agreed to show you a little bit around the Undercity and show you his back still. You sort of agreed, met up with the rest of the team there, and you were able to find your way a little bit into this sort of Undercity. Willie, your mom and sister had decided to go to a doctor's appointment to sort of figure out if Kelly was healthy, is a healthy, happy, yes, 14-year-old. She was always 14. They were going to try and gaslight the doctors. They left for the day. The group of you found your way into this cave system after breaking down a wall, and were a little bit shocked to find groups of fireflies now surrounding you in this Undercity, and appearing again out of nowhere was Kelly, saying that she had to escape the hospital because men in suits were after her. And so you all find yourself in this tunnel, currently surrounded by fireflies. Joe is a little confused at their appearance because there's not supposed to be anything really down here except for like the odd rat and maybe like fireflies generally are found outdoors. Why are they underground? And Kelly is with you now, appearing out of nowhere as you turned a corner. What do y'all do?
What do you mean they were trying to get you?
Well, I don't know if they were really out to get me, but they came to the hospital. Mom left me in the doctor's office and went to talk to them about me, and I got scared. And I left. Are you mad? Please don't be mad.
No.
Mom's probably gonna be really mad again.
Probably.
Yeah,
This is like the second time that I've done this, and she's probably gonna be really mad and scared.
well, we're underground and there's not a whole lot we can do about that now.
She looks around. Those are pretty.
What do you mean?
Oh, can't you feel them?
Do you mean the fireflies?
Yeah, they're pretty.
What are Travis? Are there supposed to be fireflies underground?
Anybody who likes to
I
even make a
don't-
brains roll. It's not a hard one, like a difficulty 2.
Sure, I'll make one.
3. I know the answer.
Got a 5.
I know a thing for once.
But yeah, no. Can I tell where they're supposed to come from?
Usually fireflies are found in like forested areas, which like there would be fireflies in the national park that's just outside the town. Usually near like bodies of water or that sort of thing.
If there are mosquitoes, there are fireflies.
Yeah, they prey on mosquitoes and the like.
Hmm.
And
Um,
like but it's just weird that they're underground.
Yeah, this is 100% unusual. But can I go backwards a second? What did
Sure.
you mean feel them? Travis is going to ask Kelly.
Okay. Kelly reaches out a hand, and one of the fireflies sort of zips in a lazy pattern and lands in the palm.
Oh.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, what?
And she holds it out, and you can see it's not actually an insect. It looks like it's made out of some sort of mechanical device.
Oh no.
It's electronic in nature.
Gemma's gonna look close. Is this something from the government again? Oh no.
Inspecting it, you can see like little sort of metal legs. Like it looks like a firefly, but it is made out of metal and circuitry. And it's probably more sophisticated than anything you've ever seen. It's very small. Like it's the size of a lightning bug.
Is it pretty?
Is
It's
this a
beautiful.
real life transformer?
The end of it is glowing softly with like this almost LED
Hmm.
haze that's been like diffused a little bit by a carapace that is almost looks acrylic. It's just this lightning bug made of acrylic, metal, and circuitry. You can go now. And it floats up into the hive with the rest of them. Into the swarm.
Right. Were you able to talk to that creature?
I mean, I don't really talk to them, but I can control them to a certain extent.
Oh. So they're not gonna do us any harm or report back to anyone about us?
I don't think there's like a camera in them, if that's what you're asking. I think they
Okay.
just kind of hover around.
Where do they come from?
Hmm.
If you didn't make. Where could they come from? Are they just
Well-
down here?
Somebody had to make those.
Yeah, but they're like.
Is Joe still in our general vicinity?
Joe's looking around and is very confused, more confused than normal.
Hey, Joe, how you feeling?
I think I'd like to go back to my shop now.
Here, you guys got this. I'll walk Joe back.
Okay.
Come on.
And the two of you begin to turn away from the rest of the group and walk back towards the entrance. You're not too terribly far in. You've only been walking for about 5 minutes into the tunnel system. It's almost labyrinthine back down under here. There are twists and turns, but you went on a fairly straightforward path. Joe seems to also know his way around here quite well, and kind of explained to you all a little earlier that the reason he knows his way so well around here is because it's where he would hide from the cops during Prohibition. He'd use this to make an escape if his still ever got compromised.
Very tricky, Joe.
Yeah, well, I ain't never seen anything like that. It kind of looked
Yeah,
like
what-
did they remind you of anything?
They didn't mind me too much beyond. Well, it did make me think about the lights the other night.
That's what I thought too.
Hmm. But I don't know why I trust Kelly. She seems to. I don't know. There's something. I don't know. But I think.
She seems like she's got a good head on her shoulders.
Yeah, as much as anything makes sense anymore, why not follow the kid? Are you doing okay? Should we?
I think I'll be fine once I get back above ground.
Are you okay staying there for us? I
Like
don't
staying in the shop. I mean, I gotta clean it up in there anyways.
Okay, I just don't feel comfortable leaving them all back there, and
No,
I'd like to walk you back.
And at this point, you sort of reach back to the. So I can make my way from here. It's just
Okay.
just around this corner.
Um.
And
Thank you.
You would know that you're not very far. I'll just make my way back up into the shop, and I know you're down there. And if anything goes too terribly awry, or if I don't see you come back up from this entrance, I'll make sure to contact someone. But I know how you feel, Miss Gemma.
Okay.
Miss Davies, I know
okay.
how you feel about the police.
Okay, just wait as long as I wait forever.
I'm not gonna wait forever.
We'll
If
be okay,
something bad
I'm sure.
happens, do you want to try and make a charm roll to convince him not to?
Yes, I do.
Not to call for a search party into the.
I have a
Undercity?
low charm though, so let's go.
This is probably gonna be
It's
about
a
a 5.
one.
Nice.
I will get a token for later.
Take that adversity token. A special trick we can use later.
Yeah.
He said, well, he sort of gives you a nod and says, "I'll wait forever."
Okay. And great. Goodbye.
Take care of those kids, Miss Davies.
I will.
And Joe turns a corner, and you can hear him walk up some stairs.
Okay. Still don't know why I'm here, really, but they need me. And she starts heading back down.
What are the rest of you doing while you wait for Gemma to come back?
So, like, things aren't born made of metal. Somebody made those things.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So who?
I mean,
Because it wasn't Joe unless he forgot.
I don't think Joe made him.
Have you seen them before? Like now?
Is it possible for me to take a small little jar out of my bag and see if I can grab 1 or 2 of the fireflies in it?
Okay. Make me a flight roll to try and be fast and nimble and catch one of them.
All right.
Difficulty is they're small. Some of them move a little bit lazier, but they are fairly small. This is going to be a difficulty 5, I'll say.
I rolled a 1.
Nice.
And I'm not going to spend my adversity tokens. I'll just increase by 1.
Yeah. Get those adversity tokens while you can. And I think also to add to this a little bit, Kelly looks at you as you try to catch one of them and says, "No, don't." And they scatter.
Well, that's the end of that, I guess.
Yep. I was hoping I could draw one later, but
Kelly
So
sort
I
of
don't know,
looks
there's
down
no
at the
one-
ground.
Do we have a flash? Do we have? I have a flashlight, right?
Yeah, I believe so. There's one of you has a flashlight. One of you has an sort of an oil lantern. Gemma had the oil lantern.
Okay.
a
And
lighter.
yeah, there was a lighter that Willie
Okay.
had.
I think there's
Yeah.
2 lighters. I think Heather has one too.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna take out the flashlight and just. Well, I'm not a fan of that. And just try and keep a light on the way that Gemma went.
Heather, is there anything that you were thinking of? Sorry, I might have interrupted you a sec there.
What?
Was there anything
You
that?
didn't-
Sorry, I think I interrupted you, and you had something that you were about to say.
I think. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say to Travis that I don't really think there's anyone we can even take this to.
I mean, sure, but even if there wasn't, it looks like a transformer. I want to learn how to draw it.
No, I mean it's not that you shouldn't draw it. I just wish that I knew how it worked.
Well, there's that part too. If I had one, maybe I could have looked at it with one of the school microscopes or something.
Yeah, as long as nobody saw us, we have to catch one first.
That's
I
not
mean-
gonna happen though.
Kells, they seem to like you, so
Hey, Raiders, welcome in.
they kind of all, showed up when you showed up, and then they all ran away when you said, and they're, kind of techie, mechanically looking, and you, the arcade, the radio, kind of have like a thing with them, right?
I mean, I can kind of sense them, and if I focus hard enough, I think I can control them.
Hmm.
Hydrate.
Did they go anywhere specific just now, or just away? Did they come from anywhere?
Kelly sort of shrinks in to herself, and you know your sister really well.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fear response that was almost instinctual, like
Yeah.
and you notice that she's been a little skittish around Travis.
Yeah.
And just the idea that Travis was going to catch one of them just triggered that just a little bit, and that's why she sent them away. But you can see that they slowly start to return back, filling the space again with sort of this dim
I
ghost
put
light.
my hand out, like when you're trying to get a dragonfly to land on you. That's probably not a universal experience. And try to stay still and see if one will take a rest.
Ooh, this is a good opportunity for a... Make me a charm roll, Heather.
Okay, I can do that. I'm great at that. Do D20. I'm still fail, I'm sure. Yep.
What'd you get?
5.
That's what you needed. One of them eventually sort of takes down and lands on your finger. And you can still see, like, the this sort of gleaming silver and acrylic carapace with this soft, glowing, almost LED light inside. It's little. It's about
Yeah.
About an inch across.
What are you? As if it can talk back, but it can't.
You hear like a sort of a soft mechanical buzz that comes from it. Doesn't really respond.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured. An automaton, I guess. Travis, I've got one if you want to come look.
Travis will like look at Kelly to see if she's shaking her head, and if she is, he won't get closer.
Kelly looks at Willie.
Travis is cool. He's not gonna hurt it.
Okay. And you're able to approach with the jar and set it in. It sort of softly like floats around inside.
Awesome.
Oh, at least we know it won't suffocate.
That's true. Yeah. Past that, I'm just gonna wait for Miss Davies to come back so that, or at least, how many paths are there so I can know by the time she gets back?
At this point, Gemma turns a corner and comes back to the rest of you. You found your way around. It was a fairly straight path from Joe's to where you are right now. It just sort of turned a little bit. And you could see as you were walking through that there were sections that were bricked, closed. Perhaps they were entrances to other downtown businesses that were bricked over and probably long forgotten about. Travis, make me a brains roll very quickly.
Okay. That's an 8.
You think about the map of downtown very quickly, and right about now you're probably under Bagels.
Weird. I'll have to. I don't think there's an entrance up to the shop, but I will maybe just like mark it with a piece of chalk or something.
Okay, you can just. What do you mark it with?
I probably have some markers in my bag.
Oh, I meant like what symbol do you put? Do you draw a bagel on the wall? Is that a little too on the nose?
No. I will draw a donut.
With some sprinkles.
Yeah. And while it looks like a bagel when I'm drawing it, I'm going to look over at Willie just to make sure he doesn't like start cackling until it turns into.
You can specify that it's a donut by making like the frosting, like the wiggly line of frosting.
Yeah.
Yeah, then no one can say that it looks like an everything bagel. Because, someone might say that.
Did somebody bring bagels? Oh.
You see Travis drawing on a portion of bricked off wall. It's looks like a donut.
Why are you drawing that, Trav?
I think the shop is right above here, so
Oh.
maybe when we come back, I can take a look and see.
Sure. Did you guys figure out where we should head to next? Or anything?
I mean, Kelly, we kind of came down here because you said cave a few times. Well, by proxy.
there's also a bank or something, right?
Yeah, or we could just like rob a bank.
It's
Um,
robbery.
Like, you know, if you don't want to get into like cave stuff, we can go steal some silver. Make it
What
rich
if we
down in the mines.
maybe didn't do that? Everybody knows everybody here. If we show up to a pawn shop with some silver, what do you think is going to happen?
I don't
Um,
know. Maybe I'll just keep it forever until I get to Denver.
Kelly,
Ooh, Denver.
it's at this point that I will remind my characters of Kelly's abilities and the fact that you can spend psychic points to tune into them.
how many do we have left? Like 6, 7?
I think you have 5. Kelly teleporting here was a power spend by Chris to bring Kelly here to alert you of the men in suits.
Okay.
So you have your fellow player to thank for that plot twist.
Love it.
Thanks.
So her psychic powers are the ability to control telepathically, the ability to see confusing glimpses of the future, the ability to teleport short distances, and the ability to heal by touching.
Hmm.
So she thinks for a sec. I mean, if I can feel them, then maybe I can feel what made them.
Yeah.
Might.
How do you feel them, Kelly? How does that work for you?
Well, I mean, you know how when you're standing sort of by a transformer box and you can sort of hear that buzzing?
Yeah,
It's like that.
but okay.
But it's like in my chest.
And
It's like a hum. In my head?
you learned how to do that while you were gone for the 4 years? Do you remember any of that time?
She shakes her head.
Hmm.
It sort of started to happen when I came back, and when I first got here, I don't think I could control it as well as I can now.
Does it scare you at all?
Not really.
Okay.
But like any of the toys in my room, or in Ollie's Alley, I could feel the jukebox, I could feel the arcade machines. Like everything sort of had like its own, and I can feel all of them.
So can you feel the energy from what's controlling them? Or do they control themselves?
She focuses for a second. And if you like, I can spend one of her psychic points to help her sort of pinpoint this. So she's down to 4 psychic points out of 7. There's something this way? And she begins to walk with you down the path, and the fireflies sort of follow.
I look at Willie to make sure he's not about to punch me for talking to his little sister.
Kelly grabs your hand, Gemma. It's this way.
Oh. Okay. You got really tall. Wow.
Mom says I hit a growth spurt, but I don't think that's the
Yeah.
case.
How tall did she get?
She was, no, what's the size of an average 10-year-old? Like, she was like 4.5.
10-year-old size.
She's like 4.5 feet when she came back. Now she's up at 14. She's Up to about 5 feet. She's grown 6 inches, and she definitely didn't fit the clothes that she was wearing when she went to bed that night. So now she's still wearing your hand-me-downs.
Yeah, I believe it's a Super Mario shirt.
It's a Super Mario Brothers 3 shirt. So it's got like the Tanuki tail
Hell yeah.
and a pair of like dark blue joggers.
Okay.
It's this way.
Right. I'll look at Willie to make sure he gives me like the okay with the eyes. This is okay.
I'm following.
Mm-hmm.
I am following.
Mhm.
She takes you down this pathway and sort of towards this section of the cave where it looks like a lot of this seems like it was like actual structured caverns. It begins to get a little bit more dug out and hollow. The pathway sort of turns a little bit, and it looks more. You do see the remnants of tracks, like this was dug out by miners at a certain point. The path sort of turns a little bit into an open cave, a hollowed out section of this portion of the Undercity. It almost feels also like the tracks are leading on a upward slope a little bit towards perhaps some sort of like actual like proper mine section. And you're in this sort of open hollow area, and she stops for a sec. Should be here.
What should be here?
The thing that's controlling the fireflies. The lightning bugs.
Okay.
Just here?
Well, it should be here.
Well, let's see what we can find.
Pick
You know
a
what
rock.
it looks like?
I don't know what it looks like, but I can feel it.
Can you make it like do something?
She takes a sec and concentrates again. Feels like it's sleeping.
Does it feel safe?
Can't tell.
Okay.
Can I look around with my flashlight?
For sure. Make me, anybody who would like to can make me a brains roll to see what they can spot in this area. It's sort of like this
Definitely.
open hollow cavern. There's like stalactites and stalagmites that are sort of like peeking up. You can see abandoned mining equipment, pickaxes and the like, but I'll tell you what else you find.
Got an 11. I exploded.
Also, ominous, fair warning. You have been given -2 on a roll from Husha Kid, who's just redeemed a cursed object.
AJ!
Brutal.
That's still
Excellent.
cute.
That's rough.
So whatever.
That's rough, buddy.
Excellent. I actually got a 10, so it's an 8 now.
Okay. It was a 7 from Gemma. What did the rest of y'all roll? What 5 or 4 and
11.
11. Ooh. Willie,
Big brain.
big brains.
Thoughts
Um,
behind these eyes.
So you can see in this area there is definitely like abandoned mining equipment. There's old pickaxes. So there's one cart that's been turned over, and you can see that there was a pile of ore inside. Some of the ore sparkles quite nicely. It's unrefined, but there is silver in there. The rest of you sort of find something similar, but Willie, you begin to sort of think about what your sister said, and you look up. Hanging from the ceiling is what looks like a massive metal and acrylic cocoon. Sort of tucked away behind one of the stalactites. Larger than a human. Larger than 2 humans.
I'm just gonna like kind of like reach out and put my hand on whoever shoulder's closest. It's probably Heather's. And just like start like tapping kind of like annoyingly.
William, what? And then I grab his arm. What is that? What is that? Ask your sister what that is.
Hey, hey, Kels. I assume like everyone else is.
That'd be it.
Oh,
That's... She scrunches her forehead just a little bit. That's one of them.
what, one of how many? You think?
Five?
Cool. That's okay. 5 of us, 5 of them.
Travis takes a step back after he looks at the thing. I'm not good with that.
I don't know if anyone should be. Is it friend?
Ellie sort of thinks for a sec. Shrugs.
How does it look like it's attached? Can we see, like, is it like a spun cocoon? Is there a big spider's web? Like,
No spider's web.
okay, good.
It is definitely metal, and it looks like it has almost affixed itself to the ceiling with some sort of spike.
Okay.
It looks it looks like if something technological was mimicking something natural.
Okay.
It's definitely not like spiders or anything like that.
Okay. Kelly, can you tell? Is it fast asleep or is it gonna wake up in a little bit? Like, or
Oh, it's not going to wake up anytime soon.
okay, okay.
It's really
Why?
sleeping. It's sleeping really deeply.
Okay.
Maybe we shouldn't wake it up then.
Probably not. But Kelly begins to sort of take Gemma's hand and walk a little bit further.
I'll follow them.
You can see there's actually one point like I said, you seem to be traveling upwards at this sort of incline, and you can see that the tracks sort of come this way. You do see one point the tunnel ends because it looks like it's collapsed, and you can in fact see daylight. There is a large hole in this portion that looks outside. Willie carrying over the big brains roll. There's not as much debris here on the inside as there should be.
Looking out, does it look like there's a lot on the outside?
Yes, it looks like anything that's caved in was incidental. It looks like the bulk of this looks like something burst out from the mountainside.
Something Kool-Aid Man smashed through this wall.
Right now, if you were to sort of climb on the rubble to look outside, you'd see that you are sort of in the middle of a forested area.
What time is it now?
You showed up at Joe's earlier in the morning. It's about early afternoon at this point.
Okay.
I was just about to ask if I could try and figure out where we were, if we're in the forested area.
You moved, following the tracks, you moved out of downtown, and it felt like you moved up the mountainside towards where the national park is.
Would this have also been the cave that we were originally planning to go to?
You have a feeling that this is a cave within this tunnel system. At least the area with the sleeping cocoon is a cave. This whole thing looks like it was some sort of mine at some point, but was abandoned. And judging by the state of the area that the single cocoon was hung up in, it looks like when it was abandoned in a seeming hurry.
Could we roughly place where that cocoon is? Like, was it outside of town at that point?
Just barely on the outskirts.
Just barely on the outskirts.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly,
the
can
way
you
that this
sense the other cocoons, like what directions they're in?
She points towards the collapsed section.
Okay.
Further that way, probably.
Mm.
You can also see that the ground around this area was moved quite recently. Like, the dirt's still wet. The dirt and the rock is still sort of wet.
Something's out there? I guess.
No, something was just here.
Well, anybody that likes to could make, like, just a rudimentary brains roll. I mean, I could even tell you for free. Go for it.
12.
12?
Well, that's an explode. 15.
Nice. Nice.
My big brain wore out 4.
It looks like this, whatever bursted out of here, would have done so a couple days ago.
Say the day that Kelly appeared and the explosion in the sky and all that, right around.
About then.
Yeah. I don't really like where the clock is adding up on all of this. But if something exploded out of here at the same time as the lights in the sky, maybe it wasn't the government.
Was it? I mean, if one of those cocoons is made of the same stuff as, I can point at the bug jar as them, that would make the lights.
I kind
And
of want to
it
check out the
buzzed, right?
cocoon.
In the loud sound.
I really think we shouldn't touch it.
A little firefly in the jar, Heather. You remember hearing that soft sort of buzz? Pitched up and on a grand enough scale could sound very similar to that hum you heard the other night.
Hold it closer to my ear to confirm this, but you've already said it, so it does.
So from inside the jar, you can also hear it sort of amplifies the sound a little bit too, and it's a sort of a loud. It's not that loud. It's quieter, but it is a very similar hum that could potentially grow louder or build in noise.
I'm gonna put it out like it's in the group. Put this to your ear and tell me what it reminds you of.
While they're doing that, what are the other fireflies doing?
They're just
Can I
sort of
look at those?
hovering around you,
Okay.
like providing like a very low illumination to the area. Kelly's sort of been controlling them to sort of lead you on this path, but yeah, you find your way to this sort of dead end.
I mean, that definitely sounds like the noise a few days ago.
So this is connected to that. So we're right. First of all.
Woohoo!
But yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Travis.
But if the things that make the noise are still around, there's nothing to stop it from happening again. So we need to figure out how to stop it from happening again.
I mean, theoretically, won't it not? Oh, I guess it happened like 4 years ago, too. So,
It happened 4 years ago. You're
I
right.
mean, I assume that's what, and I kind of like look at Kelly. Right? If the timelines are adding up.
Where was Kelly where were you when you went missing?
Um,
I mean, not that you knew you were missing. That all confuses me.
I mean, last thing that I remember before I was in the alley holding the duck, I went on a bike ride. Willie and I were going to go on a bike ride. We were going to go to, there was a pond that we like to visit. We like to go skipping
Okay.
stones. And then Willie started riding really fast, and I couldn't catch up. And then I saw a bright light, and I was in an alley, and I grabbed a duck.
You saw a bright light. Did you hear anything? Do you remember any sounds or like the feeling of wind or like anything bug-like flying by or anything? Or
There was, it was just bright and warm.
Hmm.
And I didn't feel scared. Welcome in, Raiders. It's good to see you.
that's good.
And then I was in the alley, and I saw the duck, and the duck started walking towards me, and I walked towards the duck, and I picked him up. And then you all rounded the corner, and Willie looked different, and yes, you all could, individually, you have control of certain aspects of Kelly's powers, and you can use them to, as you would like.
Mhm.
Or if you like, I can also handle that as well.
Think of a few explanations for what happened. None of them are very, very realistic, but then again, neither is aging 4 years overnight. So, who knows?
I don't know if I can control that one, but it just kind of felt like everybody was so worried about how I looked, and I just had a dream, and then I changed.
You had a dream?
Yeah. There was a tall guy with kind of curly hair, but he was a kid, and then he went to a to a like an arcade, and there was a machine that was like a fortune teller and wished that he was big. And then there was something about a piano, dancing.
Like that movie, right? What it
Big?
was? Yeah.
Did he go like
Yeah.
Okay. So
Big came out last year.
I'm gonna look at Kelly and ask, will this thing wake up if I shine my flashlight at it?
She shakes her head. I don't think so. It's pretty deep sleep. All of them are pretty deep asleep.
why are the fireflies asleep?
I think they woke up a couple days ago.
Okay. So
She
I'm
thinks
going
for-
to very
She thinks again for a sec. I think they help. They help them wake up. But the other ones aren't ready.
The other ones?
The cocoons.
Yeah, but saying the
They're
other ones means that
giant.
there's one.
What if they're giant metal bugs?
I don't know what they are.
What, was there a sixth cocoon that already broke out of here?
How recent did that collapse look?
Like it was a couple days ago.
I'm gonna poke around a little bit, and now that Gemma's thinking about that, she's gonna start looking for any signs of a previously cocoon.
In the area surrounding the escape, like the egress hole, I guess. Let's go with it. Sure.
Kool-Aid manhole, yeah.
You do see a small. Actually, you know what? Make me a brains real quick.
Okay.
Now that you're thinking about it,
3.
easy enough. You do find a small, very thin, almost gossamer thin piece of plastic.
Gang?
It feels like plastic. And it sort of like crumples a little as you touch it. Like it's degrading very quickly.
Check this out, you guys. Gemma will kind of lean down and she'll pull out one of her charcoal pencils and kind of lift it up a little bit gently so as to not cause friction.
It is just as I described, almost like a just very thin, very brittle plastic.
Is any of that plastic on the metal cocoon that's on the wall right now?
The sort of the shell is almost like metal and acrylic looking, very similar to the construction of the fireflies. And it looks like if at a certain point it was ready and it you think about butterflies, and you had a fairly high brains roll earlier. You think about butterflies and when they escape their cocoon, how like any sort of remaining portions of the pupa state are sort of like very thin and they degrade very quickly. You think that once whatever is in that cocoon is ready, and if it were to transform and escape, it could potentially shed off whatever that exterior casing is, very similar to this.
And you said it was bigger than like 2 people, right?
It's fairly high up on the ceiling, so it's kind of hard to tell scale from that distance, but it does look like it's bigger than about 2 people potentially.
Travis looks at everybody and is like, do you think that a person is in that?
I don't think it could be a person because how could you eat and sleep and do all the person stuff in there?
Kelly didn't.
Oh, you're right. Are there any known missing persons cases in Quincy? I need to.
Ooh. I hate that I keep making brains rolls. But yeah, that's gonna be a brains roll from you.
6. Highest I've rolled tonight.
Nice.
Pressing.
With a 6, spanning back, you think about it for a little bit. Kelly was the most recent missing person, but you're fairly certain that you might have heard a thing or two about other people going missing from other towns close by. Not recently. Like, your parents would be reading the paper and you'd hear your dad say something about it in passing.
So maybe this is where they go.
But you're also in the national park right now. People go missing in the forest all the time.
The park is national. Yeah.
I'm going to suggest that one of us climb out and see what we can see. I'll do it because I don't want to be near that cocoon much longer.
You want to? I was gonna offer, but yeah.
I'm gonna draw it while you guys do other things.
Cool.
You're gonna
Let me
turn
see when
around and
you're
go
done.
back towards the cocoon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If Kelly wants to go there.
Kelly's still sort of holding your hand. She's like, I can go see it again.
Okay.
She walks with you towards back towards the where you came from. Travis, you're gonna try and climb out?
Yes.
Okay. Make me a brawn check. Because it is there is like a collapsed portion of it, but it would kind of be like rock climbing to get yourself up there a little.
I rolled a 2 because I get a +1.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Would you like to
Uh,
spend any points? It's a difficulty 5.
Yeah, I'll spend some points on this. So that would put me down to 2. Yeah, I'll just pass it.
All right. Uh, you make your way back. It takes a little bit of muscle, but you pull yourself up, and into the daylight. You can see that you are in a pretty decently forested area. There's no real path, or anything that's discernible nearby, and you can't really see town from here. And you do see that there is a lot more debris on the ground outside here, and a few more pieces of that sort of, now that you know what to look for, of that sort of thin, paper thin acrylic that is very, very degrading quite rapidly, especially since it's outside of in the elements.
Okay. Am I able to see like a path where it might have went?
This is going to be another brains roll for me. Difficulty isn't going to be hard, probably about a 4.
I rolled a 20.
Is that a natural 20?
Yes.
Okay,
natural
roll
20.
that again.
Yeah, it explodes.
It explodes.
28 total.
28. Amazing.
Just drop its
Scout.
social security.
That scout in me just came out.
And
It's
you're
just
in
like,
the
we're
forest.
animal
You
tracking.
know
this.
exactly where to
Mhm.
look. You look not on the ground for like actual like animal tracks. You think if this is a butterfly, it probably went up, and you look and you can see portions of the tree line and portions of the upper canopy have been broken away, and there are branches on the ground around you, and you can see that it escaped upwards into the sky.
Okay. And this happened a couple days ago, so then it made that.
And you do notice that in addition to that, any of the fallen branches are very green. Meaning that the break on them is quite fresh.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
the branches haven't had a chance to dry out yet. Like, because these
Okay.
were living trees that it broke through.
Right. All right. So I will go back inside and let everyone know that whatever broke out flew clean away into the sky a few nights ago, and it might be what made those noises.
Okay. So where did it go? Just away? Up?
Up and away. Like Superman. Wait, Kelly's not with
That's the
Kelly's
biggest
Gemma.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to head towards Gemma and like say like, look, get everybody together and say, look, whatever this thing was that busted out of this cave flew clean into the sky, like it smashed up all the trees, and it's
Oh,
Before that,
yeah.
because you took a little bit like doing this sort of work, we're going to switch
Mhm.
over to Gemma and Kelly as Gemma's making this sketch. Gemma, you're sort of making this charcoal sketch of this cocoon. And Kelly sort of is like sitting with you. You're a pretty good artist.
oh, thank you. I've actually drawn a few pictures of you. Last night I couldn't really sleep, and I just had this vision for a whole series. I hope you don't mind that you're kind of the main subject right now.
No, it's okay.
Okay,
you.
good.
No one's ever really drawn me before. I mean, Willie did once, but it was like a stick figure, and he made like stink lines coming off me because he calls me Smelly Kelly.
You know, I don't usually do drawings of people, but I don't know, there was just something that I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
Gemma, make me a brains roll very quickly, please.
Got it. That would be a 2.
Kelly is also going to make. Kelly looks over. You see Kelly look very rapidly over her shoulder towards the way you all came. And she says, "Something's coming."
What? Okay.
We should get going. We should leave.
All right. I'll grab her hand and
She grabs your hand and she holds it very, very tight.
okay. Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
And she begins to take you with her back towards the rest of the crew.
I'll try to look behind me as we're going.
You
I
can
can't
see,
help.
At this point, now that she's pointed it out, you can see lights coming down that hallway towards you.
Okay.
And you can now also hear footsteps echoing.
Yeah, let's book it.
That is your one exit out of here, but there is the hole that comes up. So if anybody would like to try and climb out, I will need some brawn rolls to try and climb out. The difficulty is 5.
Is that what we're all
Like,
doing?
Try to help people.
Yeah, you can definitely help.
Yeah. I don't know how helping works in this game system.
So, I will say that if you assist, basically it's like giving them a free adversity token. So, like a free,
Okay.
Depending on how well you roll on this, they can
Okay.
add.
So I have to make a brawn roll.
Make a brawn roll very quickly. Everybody.
Okay.
I have a 4, but I'm gonna use an adversity token to make it a 5.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
11 plus 1, so 12.
I'll say that with a 12, that's enough to give everybody a +1 to help them out. Gemma, what did you roll on your brawn
With
roll?
a 3 plus 1 will be 4.
Okay. Do you have any adversity tokens that you can spend to make it a 5?
Yeah, she'll spend her 1. Sure.
I'm just gonna do a quick. So Kelly is not very strong at all. I just need to grab a die for Kelly. I need to find a pyramid. She only rolls a 4, but she rolled a 4 on the die. And with Willie's help, you're able to boost your sister up. Basically, you just sort of cheerleader hoist.
Nice.
Travis, what did you roll again?
I rolled a total of 6.
Awesome. You're all able to sort of scramble up out of this, and you can hear, you all hear now the sound of multiple sets of footsteps coming up the cavern behind you, and the sound of shouting.
In what language?
English.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Any discernible words?
I heard something over here.
Okay. Any discernible voices?
None that you recognize.
Ooh, worse.
You don't want to be here when. Yep, let's go.
And you are now in the middle of the forest. Travis, you might be able to Cub Scout your way to find a path with these folks to help get your crew out of here. But we will get to that after our first break. We're going to go on a quick 10-minute break. We've got our lovely ad for Deimos Academy coming up very shortly here. Talk to you all very soon. We'll see you in about 10 minutes.
Dear alumni, you are invited to celebrate your class's 15-year reunion at Deimos Academy. As one of the longest operating boarding schools, We are looking forward to seeing how successful you have become. Our strict regimen of putting excellence first and educating children to stay in line has created some of the best alumni. As you all know, some of the world's most powerful people have graced our halls, from celebrities to technology geniuses. And if they did not attend here, then consider yourself lucky to be receiving a better education than they did. We look forward to meeting with you. Remember, excellence always. In Deimos Academy, players are taking on the roles of alumni who used to attend the boarding school. They are called back at the school to attend a 15-year reunion to discover that they are the only ones there in this creepy old academy. Through this collaborative horror role-playing game, players will explore different rooms and roll dice to collect memories. When they succeed, they collect the memory and they get to color in a part of the room. In the final room, characters will face their biggest fears. Players will build the story together, remembering things from their characters' pasts and attempting to overcome their fears and the trauma that they experienced as children. So get ready for your reunion. Deimos Academy awaits your arrival.
Welcome, mortals, to Morning Ritual.
Welcome to Upon These Crystals is
playing Beyond the Twilight Road.
And welcome to Forest and Flame on the Critical Misses channel. Welcome to another episode of Kingsguard.
A 6-part miniseries titled The Growing of the Dim.
I would like to cast Witch Bolt on her.
Yeah, can I make 6 attacks against her?
It's a thing.
I do believe some people wanted to do some goblin blood shots.
oh no.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we did want to do that.
It looks like your plan is half-baked.
In between one of the quacks, I'll just get like really loud and just say, "Run."
In the town of Habisha, there are always exciting going-ons amongst the members of society, and the spring of 1818 is no exception. Rumors are everywhere, and scandal is never more than a moment away. But true love might just be around the corner. How might the past change one's future? Which is stronger, the head or the heart? And who will find their happily ever after? Queer Society on the Critical Misses channel. Festivities begin each Wednesday at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. Sharp. Don't be late.
That was not a smooth transition, but hey, we're live. That's the mood today. That is the mood today.
Oh!
Sometimes you need a girl. I got my click clack bag. God damn it, Noir.
Thank you all for having me, and I'm glad I was on before Bria because there's no way to follow her, so it's good.
Garlic smells and tastes like ass. Well, you show me an ass that tastes like garlic, and I'm gonna find myself a new partner.
Summer of Abria.
You could make someone cry over like Romeo and Juliet, or I could make them cry with a story about a werewolf giving a blowjob. And if I could do that, that's a trick to pull off.
Today, your PSA
is that when you watch streamers, content creators, YouTubers, influencers, you do not actually know them. You may know their name, you may know facts about them, you do not know them. This is your PSA to not be overfamiliar. Thank you and have a good day.
And that's kind of why, you know, I'm trying to be as unapologetic as possible, is because I'm trying to be the person that I needed back when I was growing up.
I'm starting
Gabe
Game
Anon.
Gate. Game Gate. Game Gate starts here, and it's that Gabe is an actual fey creature, and they're just messing with us. A new IP comes out that's perfect for you, right? But in order for this to exist, we have to get rid of another IP, and whichever IP you replace it with, that's how big it gets.
Star Wars. Bye.
I'll tell you one motherfucking thing. If you're in Australia, go fuck yourself. Australia. Yeah, that's right. I'm picking a fight with the entire goddamn continent of Australia.
So,
go fuck yourself.
tune
mate.
in for October 24th, our show where we have Wasabate, who is in fact Australian, and has promised us one authentic g'day.
You know what? If your name is Liam O'Brien, go fuck yourself too. It's hands for you on site, Caleb.
Damn.
So what do you want to do about it? Do you want to play this game with me? Or do you want to forfeit? I don't really think you can keep up with me, but I'd love to see you try. Darling.
Hey, Brookanita! My co-host has been murdered.
You just gotta lie a lot and have one solid apology at the end, and that is the secret to Young Justice working every time.
I feel like that is a Thieves Guild's mantra. Lie longer, lie better. Papa John's.
Anita quite literally said, Noir knows him. Like, and I was like, co-signed. All right, welcome aboard. I was like, that is enough for me. Noir knows and likes this person.
Well, we can always make a Respect Women Juice flask, you know, so you can have it wherever you go.
I'm already working on putting it on a mug.
Excellent. Next, you need shot glasses.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna take a quick shot of Respect Women Juice. Yeah.
Huh? Where am I?
We're going into the that guy segment. Did you just black out for a little bit?
I was so busy fighting that everything just went red for a second.
You cannot do what I do, like at all. But I can't do what you do. And no one can tell your story. No one can sing your song but you.
I always realized like Critical Misses. It's just like, you know, it's a film focused channel and, you know, the critical, okay, haha. And then I was like, wait a second. When you roll a 1, that's a critical miss. It
Just get the pun.
Yes,
Just get the
pun. I just got the pun.
And we're back. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half. We are in the woods. You all are in the woods, on the ground. The terrain around you, you can see that there are some fallen branches on the ground now that Travis has pointed that out. There is a fair bit of rubble from where whatever this was burst out of the earth. And you are now in the forest. Travis, you want to out of the woods, home before dark. Don't stay in the woods after dark. That's what the first season taught us. Travis, I would like you to make a brains roll so that you can sort of suss out the direction of where town is from here.
That's a 16.
Amazing. Easily done. You sort of get your bearings quickly. You figure out the position of the sun, and you know that if it's on this side, the town's probably that way through the forest. And judging by like sort of the path that you took through this, through the Undercity, you find your way to a direction, like a cardinal direction. You're like, if we go straight this way, we should hit a road that leads out back to town. It is fairly downhill, so I am gonna want all of you who are going to try and make me a quick escape to make me a flight roll, please.
All right.
Flight rolls from the party.
Oh boy.
No idea what die I use for that.
Ooh.
A D12, apparently.
Nice.
Something. These chicks don't even know the name of my band. Oh, I explode. Oh my god. I have a 23. That's where all my rolling luck went today.
Amazing. It was a 23 from you, a 17 from Gemma. Willie, what did you roll on your flight?
I got a 9.
Ooh, still good. Kelly is gonna roll her flight, which is a D6. I just need to grab one from my bag.
Being chased by the man. I know it.
Okay. Travis, what'd you roll?
A 3.
Well,
Little
you
buddy.
are very close to Kelly, who rolled a 4.
Okay.
Heather, Travis gives you a direction and tells you to run, and you take off through the woods at top speed. And very quickly you have the direction, but you look behind you at a certain point and the rest of your party is not close. You can see Gemma is like not quite keeping pace with you, but is like about a fair distance behind you. Somehow Gemma's moving pretty quick, but not as quick as you. Willie, you take off after Gemma. You lose sight of Heather, but you have the direction from Travis. So you know that if you eventually meet up with them at the road, you'll be able to find them. But as you take off, eventually you look behind you and you're sort of not quite seeing. You might see Travis a little bit, but you don't see Kelly.
The second I don't see Kelly, I'm stopping, like full hold.
You can see Kelly just a little bit behind, starting to catch up, and it's just like, oh, you go so fast. And Travis, you catch up to Kelly. Kelly's got like a little bit of a stitch in her side. It's just like, okay. And you can hear a little distance behind you. I think it broke through the ground here.
I should listen.
You can hear the people that seemingly came through the tunnel behind you. They found the hole that you all have escaped through. You're muted.
Is there a way? Is there enough foliage to give us some camouflage for for me and Kelly, who are the slower moving ones.
Like to hide if you can't. There's a lot of foliage around here, but it will be a brains roll to sort of try and suss out like the best hiding spot.
Okay, I'm gonna make that.
Kelly's also gonna make one.
That's a 17.
Scout once again. This is you're the ranger. This is your favorite terrain. You grab Kelly and Willie, and you find this sort of it's very similar to that scene in Lord of the Rings where the hobbits hide in like the little underbrush area as the Nazguls go over top. It's that before that. But you all sort of duck into this little fallen over tree, and you quickly grab a couple branches and you put them over to sort of cover where you are, acting as like this sort of natural camouflage area. Kelly shrinks away from you and like shrinks into her brother, but like nods and like acknowledges sort of what you did. A little bit less afraid of you now. That you've kept the both of them safe. But you do hear the sound of crunching footsteps. You are not found, but you do hear someone say, if this is where it came from, we're going to want to set up a perimeter and clear this place out. Just make sure that we lock it down. Get some tape up here. It's going to be a little bit harder for us to get any vehicles, so we're probably going to have to go through that cave system.
How close are the voices?
About 10 feet off. But you do hear them talk. There's two voices. There's two sets of steps behind you. And they're like... You could hear them begin to sort of talk and retreat. It's like... God, you mean we gotta schlep everything up here? This is gonna be a frickin' nightmare.
Can I get a peek as they're walking away?
Ooh. Make me... Stealth is kind of something that requires like a little bit of trickiness. Make me a grit roll.
Okay, it's the first grit roll for Travis. I rolled a 1. Of course I would.
Would you like to spend any points?
I only have 2. But you know what? I will use them. So
actually, wait, one sec. Sorry. Did you hear something? You can hear the footsteps and the voices. I don't think there's something over here. You're retreating back into the hidey hole. They don't find you. But you can actually see as they pass sort of in front of your hiding spot. 2 tall masculine figures in looks like suits, uniforms. Must have been an animal. And they turn around and begin to retreat again. God, you're so jumpy.
Travis is 100% going to wait until they're out of earshot, like for like a minute before he tries to like, give one of those learned signals that he may have seen in the Scout's handbook for them to like move forward as quietly as they can.
You do like one of these. Are you going to try and make your way quietly back towards where the road is?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna need flight rolls. It would have been a flight roll either way. Good job, Kelly. Kelly rolled a 7.
We're all
I
fighting.
also rolled a 7.
Nice.
Travis is not having a good time when dudes are present.
Gemma and Heather, you make your way to the road. And you do know that the town is just up this direction. But you have lost sight of the other 3.
Oh. Wow, we're like Gazelle, aren't we?
Willie, what did you roll on your...
I got a 10.
Nice. And Travis, what did you roll on your flight again?
I'm going to spend all of the points I have available.
What did you bring that up to?
That would bring it to a 4.
Okay. Let me just do one of these real quick. Hey you! Stop! I want you to know that they were one of them was still a little bit like skeptical about what they heard. And the dice reflected that. It was a D6. It exploded twice. The total is 16.
So that's all of us, huh?
So Travis, they see you,
Mm-hmm.
Kelly, and Willie, because you're only as stealthy as your least stealthiest party member, even on average. And this man in a suit begins to run after you. If y'all would like to make me another flight roll to try and run. Travis, I will also allow you to make a brains roll because you are in the forest. You are in like this area that you know very, very well. You could potentially find a place to lose them.
I'm definitely going to go for the brains roll to see if I can like weave in out of trees. And that roll is a 19.
Willie's gonna just clap his hand on Kelly's shoulder and just go to Gemma now. I'm gonna use one of her psychic to teleport her to Gemma.
Amazing.
Wonder what's taking them so long. I hope they're okay.
All of a sudden, this is going to actually take 2 points of psychic because she has never teleported with anyone before.
I'm not asking her to teleport with me.
Oh, you're just asking her to teleport?
Just to go.
Yeah. I'm just telling her to go.
She grabs your hand and says, I'm not going to leave you behind. And because you're touching her shoulder, she's going to bamf both of you. And all of a sudden, what's taking them so long? You see Willie and Kelly teleport next to you. Travis, you find a couple blind corners and you are able to lose this person that has been pursuing you. And eventually, probably there's 10 tense minutes of the lot of you sort of standing at the side of this road before you see Travis emerge from the trees.
Oh my god, and Gemma just runs up and just gives him a hug without any consent. Sorry, man. Oh my gosh, you're okay. Oh my gosh. What happened?
Travis is breathing heavy because he obviously had to not only like sprint to lose this guy, but he had then after losing him, he had to like try and lay low and then like sprint in between the trees, like acting like a whole animal, to make sure he could throw the guy off the trail. And he just kind of looks at Kelly and is like, the guys in suits showed up.
Don't look at me.
I don't think it's your fault. I just think whatever reason you have to not like them is a good one.
Did you lose them?
Yeah. He doesn't know where I am.
But he definitely saw us.
Could you tell what they wanted? Did you hear anything?
Sound like talking about the busted up hole in the ground and looking for setting up a parameter.
So they're on the same trail we're on, but we're ahead of them.
Yeah.
Right? We're ahead of them?
Sounds like it. They said it looks like something. It looks like it busted through here, set up a perimeter, and
The other cocoon, when they find it, it might be in danger.
I'm feeling a little woozy.
Um,
I'm also
let's-
kind of hungry.
Yeah, let's get someone that's not out here.
Yeah.
How far are we from? Because I know Gemma lives kind of on the edge of town. How far are we? I don't know which side we are in relation to her house.
For the because we move at the speed of narrative plot, we'll say that we are actually fairly close to your house.
Okay. Let's just all head back. Nobody will look for us in my house. Nobody expects me to exist. So, come on. Let's get out of the forest. I think I picked mushrooms up here one time
Kelly
anyway.
walks up to you, Travis. I'm sorry I left you behind.
It's fine.
No, it's not. And she turns and she grabs Gemma's hand and begins to walk with Gemma.
Travis
Gem-
also. Oh, sorry.
Gemma's just gonna look back at Travis and kind of like smile at him and really warmly, like kindly, like she usually does when she knows like he's concerned or whatever. They kind of have a thing, and so she'll just kind of look at him and just kind of give him that smile, and then she'll turn back to Gemma or to Kelly and squeeze her hand, and then leave. However we have to cut back.
When
No, go ahead.
Willie will kind of fall back with Travis and go, I would have stayed and caught the heat, but she didn't want to leave me behind. I would have stayed and caught it. Ooh. What are they going to do? Make my life worse?
I believe you.
You don't have to.
Here's the thing, man. Like, it was gonna be one of us, and I mean, if it wasn't you, it was going to be me.
Yeah, but it, should have been the kid with no future. I'll kind of nudge him in the shoulder and kind of speed up my walk.
The group of you make your way to Gemma's house. This sort of large, was beautiful at one point. It's kind of overgrown at this point, and a little decrepit Victorian-style mansion. The hedges are quite a little bit wild. very reflective of the owner. And Gemma, you make your way up to the house, look around. It doesn't appear that you were followed.
Okay. She grabs a key and unlocks the door and then says, "Okay, move quickly so the beetle cats don't get out. They don't know you're coming. So, come on." And she'll rush everybody in, shut the door, and lock it. "I'll head right to the kitchen. Just make yourselves at home." And everybody will see as you go in that there's this in the living room, kind of in the it's like a big lots of windows, and that's where she's been doing her paintings lately. And so there's this series that are on these different size easels, and then there's like even one that's on top of the mantle, and they're almost like just a black and white kind of graphic novel style of what happened over the last day or two, kind of just laid out in panels. And they're completely, especially Travis, Travis knows these are nothing like anything Gemma's ever painted. She's never done people. She's never done like a black and white series. But it's kind of dark. And the canvases are all just whatever canvases she had laying around. And you can see that she painted over a few other canvases, as you can see like color peeking through. Mm-hmm. And then she just heads straight back to the kitchen, and you hear like kitchen sounds as whoosh.
Kelly settles in with one of the beetle cats and begins to play with Ringo. What do y'all do? Gemma's making you some food.
Do you keep it this cold in here all the time?
Yeah, she does generally. She doesn't use her heating thing. I don't think it's central.
I'm a competitive skier and I think it's cold in here. Jesus.
So, what is going on with this painting she's been doing? She's never done anything like this that I know of.
I don't know. I didn't know that she did art really like this.
Yeah.
I guess it's a good record.
And Travis is going to look at what Gemma has put up there and see if he can glean anything that maybe she has or hasn't, because she hasn't said anything about it.
Ooh. Gemma, I will let you tell me what Travis sees. Travis knows you fairly well. So you tell me.
I think it's her way of just processing all this darkness that she's kind of just tamped down forever. So, but I don't know if she sees anything, because she's also kind of documenting what's happening. So I don't know if there's anything that she has seen as an artist. I am not. I have aphantasia. I don't see shit.
Oh, that's fair.
She's an artist, and she might see something that I don't.
Okay. As someone who is an artist, then I'll it's black and white, but I'll help color this picture for you. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry for that.
I like it.
The painting is the graphic sort of novels are this sort of account of the past few days. So you can see, first you see the sky. It looks like a skyscape. It is the city sky, the small town skyscape of Quincy. And you recognize a few of the buildings here and there, and you see it's very like stark silhouette of the sky, but in the sky above, you can see in the negative space that there are these lights that are shining beams down on the city, and the instead of the skyscape being like solid, it is almost looks like it's fractured, like it to reflect the breaking of Quincy. The Next is the the vehicle that she drives up on a curb side, and leaning up against it is a broom, sort of reflecting how Gemma was helping out in the bagel shop sweeping. The next panel is just a single, it's a two-point perspective of an alleyway with these sort of long dramatic lines, and standing in sort of the center of this black and white image that's like very shadowy is like this sort of bright point of light that is a small girl holding a white duck. The next image you see is the sort of dark lines of bars. And it almost looks like a film noir detective style panel of this bright light, almost spotlight, that just shines down on a single solitary figure in a chair with sort of this sort of wild look, and it must be how Gemma sees herself. And you do see in the shadows of the background, in the negative space of that solid black with the spotlight on her in the background, you do see eyes, as though the entire town is watching Gemma. The next is the bright lights of an arcade and a bowling alley. You see like this sort of ball pit with these sort of like they're not colored, it's all black and white, but there's these sort of bubbles, and you do see a set of eyes peeking above it, and a little doll head peeking above it as well. This one's more like this one's a little bit more whimsical. This is one of the few ones where there is color that's sort of peeking out through it from behind the canvas, as though like there was another piece that was painted on top of that was like bright and colorful. And
probably the bird heart.
Possibly.
That's where Strawberry Shortcake's hat is.
Yeah, Strawberry Shortcake's hat is the bird heart. And then there's the car sort of driving back home for the night. That one is another one where it is the background of another image, but it was like it's a sunrise, and it is like the black image of the vehicle driving, and then there's two people there. It looks like it's you and Gemma driving home. Or no, wouldn't have been you and Gemma driving home. This one would have been the car outside of the roller rink, and the sort of sunrise colors are the flames that are on the seat covers of this vehicle. Oh yeah. And that's about it. That's about it. That's sort of that is Gemma's recounting of the events so far in this sort of graphic novel art painting on like gesso on canvas, on random canvas.
Right.
It's quite beautiful. Right. But you can definitely tell in it how there are bits of how Gemma sees herself and how the town sees Gemma. Especially in the scene with that's sort of like the film noir detective with the spotlight and all of the eyes. It seems like these are all of the eyes of the town on Gemma on the return of this child. It's right. And it feels claustrophobic and you feel like this almost sense of claustrophobia and paranoia in the lines.
Well, that's accurate. It's very accurate. Do the lights that she drew look like they're focusing on certain places? Like,
Not
if she saw anything
specifically.
different. Okay.
It just looks like there are these lights in the sky that are sort of casting the shadows on the town and the fractured city, or the fractured small town.
I definitely think that they're going to be watching Joe's tomorrow.
Should we tell Joe?
He had to have been the one that called.
I don't think Joe's a fucking narc.
Joe's not a narc. He makes basement bathtub gin.
And how did they find us?
If they've had eyes down there already, and they might have, considering the giant thing that happened in the town, us poking around easily could have triggered something, caught someone's eye.
And you do
Maybe they
know-
have someone like Kelly.
You do know that there were bricked off sections of like this sort of undercity. It's possible they could have broken through another wall in a different building.
Yeah.
This is true.
There were a couple turns where there was like an off-shooting branch that you didn't explore, but because Kelly was leading you a little bit of the way as well.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Was there other paths?
There were a couple. Kelly was leading you through these twists and turns and these blind corners with the fireflies.
Do I still have the jar?
Mm-hmm. Still have the jar, and inside there is that small little lightning bug that swirls around the inside, sort of pings against the glass every once in a while.
All right, everyone, finger sandwiches. Gemma comes out backwards with this giant tray with all these plates like stacked on it. And she says, there's 10 different kinds because I just don't know what you all like. And I made all of this, well, most of this bread, this bagel, all these bagels. I bet Travis's mom made them. Here you go. And you see like, it's just covered in all these like, and some of the sandwiches are crustless and so, you know, all different kinds of bread, all different kinds of meats and vegetables. And then all these little, like this like whole veggie tray of like precisely cut vegetables in all these little shaped and sizes and stuff. Like she just went in there and just like put all of her trauma energy into just like cooking. And so she just like sets it down and, okay, what have we figured out?
Heather and Willie.
Hmm.
While Travis was sort of inspecting the art, what were you two sort of doing?
Oh, I assumed that this was like an art tour.
Oh, yeah.
For all of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it was so descriptive.
So descriptive? Yeah, for sure. We could definitely call it that. Absolutely.
I mean, if Willie zoned out at any point, he was probably like staring at a window that he's probably thrown like several rocks through.
Mm-hmm. You can see each panel because it's such an old house.
Yeah.
You know, some of those panels, and you can tell which ones have been replaced, and you probably can remember. Oh yeah, that was that year.
Mm-hmm.
That was, yeah.
That was some good work that year.
Nice vintage glass.
And when Gemma walks in with the finger sandwiches, like Heather like looks at her and then it immediately clicks that she's starving. And they've been out all day and like they were too stressed to think about it. But now that there's food in the vicinity, she's like, oh my God, and just walks towards you.
Yeah, you can see like every different like thing that Willie could say, you know, jokes about, oh, finger sandwiches, 10 different types. What kids' fingers did you take? Like you can see every one of those jokes flicker through his eyes before he's just like, it just grabs a sandwich.
Kelly walks up as well and grabs one of the sandwiches off the tray and like starts like just eating it very hungrily and like almost like ravenously, like just mowing down food. I was hard work. That was a lot. I'm still feeling a little woozy, but the food's helping. Thank you, Gemma.
Of course. Where are my manners? I didn't get you anything to drink. Hold on, I made some tea. She darts back off into the kitchen, comes back out with a tray of 3 different pitchers, and you can see one of them's like an Arnold Palmer, and one of them's 2 different kinds. She's like, this one's, this is black tea, and this one's sweetened. Here you go. And sets glasses out.
You make all this stuff?
Well, I never have guests, so
I don't know. My parents just never cook, and she's pouring herself a glass of Arnold Palmer.
It is delicious. It is very refreshing. It is the right amount of sweetness because Gemma is very good, very, very good at what she does. I'm gonna grab something very, very quickly. The group of you sort of settle in and begin to like tuck into these foods and like it's all very well prepared, very delicious. The bread is any of the homemade bread is fresh, looks like it was made yesterday. The bagels are good because they're bagels are great. And as you're sort of settling in, you hear a set of footsteps come up to the door, and there is a knock.
Gemma just chews and doesn't do anything.
There's another knock. It's a little bit more quicker and insistent.
Usually,
I'm gonna like wave for everyone who isn't Gemma's attention, to be like we're gonna go hide down the hallway, but we shouldn't talk in case they're listening.
Right.
You all sort of tuck down the hallway and hide in one of the side rooms. There's a third knock on the door. That's a little bit quicker, a little bit more insistent.
She picks up one of the she has a bunch of drop cloths and shit everywhere, and so she just picks one up and kind of drapes it over the table and like grabs any like cups and stuff and tries to like she sticks some paint brushes in some of the cups that are around, and then she's like scoops up one of the cats and goes to the door and kind of she like peeks through the curtain but makes it really obvious that she's peeking.
You see a very well-dressed woman in some sort of a 80s power suit, very broad
woman in suit,
very broad shoulder pads, and is knocking on the door, looking very insistent, like a large set of aviators.
Okay, and she kind of straightens herself out real quick and like,
Gemma, darling.
Cherry, I forgot you were coming.
I always have time for you, and I was in the area.
Of course.
Can I come in?
In the area, yeah. Sure. Come on in. Sorry, the place is. She puts the cat down. Sorry, the place is a mess. Please shut. She kicks the door shut.
Oh, darling, sweetie, thank you so much for letting me in.
Yeah. It still startles me a little bit when I hear the knocking at the door. So glad you. How's San Francisco?
San Francisco's great, but I've heard that you've had a touch more excitement. How was your run through the woods? And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Nobody like that. Nobody likes that. What was the point of running? What?
How does Cherry know this? Who is Cherry? Let's find out.
Oh.
Next session.
I want to know now.
Oof.
Okay. Maybe I don't want to give her those paintings after all.
You painted over them.
Who is the mysterious Cherry Monaco? Find out on next episode of The Growing of the Dim. That's been our episode, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. I've been your GM, Anita, and I will turn it over to our lovely players who can tell us who they are and where you can find them, starting with the amazing Becca.
Hello, I'm Becca Morgan. You can find me any place that is worth finding me as Cool Armadillo, either with a 0 as the final O or not. It depends on the place. For other things that you can find me in, you can find me on Saturdays in 2 different places. The first one, you can find me on any of your favorite podcast listening things for my podcast, Unlikely Adventurers, where me and my co-host Macy just talk and flirt, and also, I guess, theoretically make D&D characters, even though sometimes we just talk about how Barbie is God. Because that's what happened in this recording. And then later on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, you can find me at twitch.tv/GameraZilla Kong for Shadows of Sharn, where I play Galen Lore Morales, an aspiring detective with a dark secret. For an Eberron-based campaign that is a lot of fun. They're zombies.
Ooh. Amazing. Next up, Chris.
Well, hello. I'm Chris. You can find me on Twitter as Omnis_X, on Twitch as OmnisX with no underscore because I can't do that here. Normally I stream on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at, I wrote it down this time, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. Hey, we're getting better with this time zone thing. And I've been playing a lot of Darkest Dungeon. I have had a few deaths very recently, and I am not okay. But eventually we're going to get through that game and then start Hollow Knight.
Omnis, do we need to talk? Do we need to get a sandwich and just have a chat about all your deaths?
Honestly, maybe.
Okay.
But that's me.
Amazing. Next up, we've got the lovely Brandy, or B.
Hello, everyone. I am B. I am just, you can find me on the Bird app as Kind Ranger. By day, I take special needs adults out on adventures and have the best days of our lives. But that's just me.
B's amazing. We love one whole B. Next up, we have got Max.
I'm Max. You can find me anywhere that I want you to find me on the internet at Arcane Goth. You can find me streaming a few other places as well. Tomorrow on TTRPG will be the grand, I say hesitantly, finale of Halcyon Pride, Our Masks campaign. Things are going horribly wrong when I say I literally could not sleep after last Wednesday. I laid in bed awake even though I get up for work at 5:30 in the morning every day. On Thursdays, you can find me Carrion Comfort Studio. It really screwed me up. Carrion Comfort Studios in Room for Everyone, where we are doing Isabe's Bed and Breakfast, and I won't be on this week's episode, but I am on most of the other ones.
Amazing.
And that's it.
Hi, I'm Anita, and I am your GM for this evening. You can find me here, either in front of the camera or behind the scenes. We don't have a guest for Morning Ritual this week because my co-host is in the process of moving house. And once they're done with that and all settled, we will be back on the 9th. Is that the day? That is the day. We'll be back on the 9th of April with our guest, Mackenzie DeArmas. Works for Wizards of the Coast. But yeah, you can check me out on the socials, and you'll probably more places that I'm going to be fairly shortly once that announcements get made about things that I'm on, because I can't talk about some things right now. Yeah, we're gonna go on a raid. We are gonna go send some love over to who's online that we can show some love to. Let me just do real quick, mute the site. We'll send some love over to our friends over at Neon Lights Roleplay. They are online playing some Blades Will. So yeah, we'll send some love over there. Cherry's just an art agent, right? So, totally nothing weird happening there. But yeah, that has been our episode. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out. Until next time, have a good run through the woods, everybody. Bye!